Hey my loves, welcome back to our channel. We are here again with our beautiful fiance Joe, and we are talking all things Married at First Sight, season 11, episode 11?
Yeah.
14?
11. Yeah.
12? We are 1 month down in a quarantine to go, and this episode is super cool because we're about to embark. We're finally about to embark on the quarantine episodes, which I'm more excited about than anything.
Yeah.
And this episode opens with Woody and Amani actually getting together a budget. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you know, they find out that Woody is a much bigger spender than Amani. Mm-hmm. Who spends more in your household? I know in our household,
it's not me.
I am a huge, we working on it, but I love that Woody was like, you gotta reel this in. Like, we wanna, like, even talking about apartments, when they were like, oh, we can get an apartment for $1,800, I'm like, that's expensive.
Yeah, especially for where they live.
For where they live, like where we live, that's the running rate. Exactly. But like in New Orleans, I'm like, that's expensive. Like, oh my goodness, $1,800. But I mean, I get to, you know, income households, whatever the case may be. But I did like how they're talking about uncomfortable things. Like, you know what I mean? Because if you're able to talk about your budget, that means you was talking about how much you was making and everything like that. And people don't really do that.
Yeah.
And I think that is like really, that's really showing to me that this is longevity for them.
Right.
And they looking past planning for outside of this 8-week stint. And
planning for decision day. They not planning, you know, them other couples is kind of planning for decision day.
They really, really are. And it's just like, I told y'all, I say this all the time, Woody and Amani are my fave pair. Well, they're my second fave pair, but I really do like how they are growing in love. And I love that you can see them actually doing things that real couples do. Yeah. So it's not just this like, we don't know each other, we got to get to know each other, when. Yeah. It's more like, bump all that.
Real planning.
We'll figure each other out later. Let's get to this real life stuff. We got to know our budget when we get out of here. We got to know this when we get out of here. And I think that's really dope. I really do.
Yeah. Well, they figure each other out, you know, on a daily. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whereas, like, Christina said that, you know, they just do, like, exercises. And then that's when they figure each other out. Or was it Karen? But it's just like with Woody and Amani, because they are constantly, you know, conversating and constantly sharing and open with each other, like it's a daily process. So they've been figuring each other out for 30 days and now they like getting down to the nitty gritty, you know what I mean, which is where everybody else really should be at, but they're not. And
I really do believe that the reason why the other people aren't there is because I think Woody and Amani actually came in here open.
Yeah.
Like, I think that they are the actual example of being open to the process. Yeah. Because I feel like some of the things that people say, especially like Karen or Olivia or even Christina, to justify where they are in their relationship, says that you weren't all that open about this process.
Yeah.
Even though you signed up. So we move into Olivia and Brett. I cannot find my words today, guys. Sorry. Olivia and Brett, and they are talking to Pastor Cal.
Yeah.
So one thing I don't know if I like this or I don't like this, so you guys tell me your opinion on this in YouTube, babe. They're doing this thing where what are they called? The experts are like on call. So it doesn't feel like they're meeting with the experts every week or every other day to help them along in their relationship. It's more like, we're not doing this right, let's call somebody up. You know what I mean? Like, they're a resource now as opposed to like
I think that's a part of the COVID. Like, I think in other seasons, they were planned into the season, and they had times where they were doing exercises with the experts was coming through. And I think this time, this is about COVID. Like, earlier on, super early on, when they were doing the first in-home check-ins, they couldn't even go to everybody's house.
Right.
So the experts have never even seen the inside of a couple of their homes, right? And I think that's because of COVID. They're just not being, for some reason, and we were talking about this when we were watching it, they're not being super transparent about what's going on with the pandemic.
Right.
So coming up, they're going to obviously, you know, it was in the title of the show, they're going to talk more about it, but you could visibly see that COVID was affecting the production weeks ago. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
With them not going to the houses, they're calling Pastor Kyle on the video chat. And in years past, if they didn't want to meet with Pastor Kyle, they would just meet with Pastor Kyle.
Right.
It wouldn't be a video chat.
Right.
So I think that's what's going on.
I don't know if part of me, the only reason why I don't love it in the way that it's set up currently is because it makes it feel more reality TV. So it makes it feel more like the real world, as opposed to like, we're trying to help these couples be successful. So we don't want to insert ourselves, but we want to make sure that they have all of the tools that they need to learn each other, get to know each other, and move forward past the 8 weeks. And I think that that's the only thing that's been kind of giving me like a little bit of pause. But other than that, they sit down and talk with Pastor Kyle, and Olivia basically says Brett is two-faced, and I'm tired of him being on TV, being in front of these cameras, acting one way, and then when they off, he a completely different human being.
Yeah. Which they got into last week, too. They talked about that. This has been a running theme for them.
But I do feel like Pastor Kyle asked very good questions, and y'all really tried to come for me last week in the comments, and all I did was ask the same damn questions that Pastor Kyle did. All I'm trying to get y'all to understand is that nobody can make you feel that way. You literally, you're giving somebody the freedom. That's on you. So if he upset you that much, what is it about you that you upset? Not in a bad way that you can't have your feelings. You can have all of those feelings. But also slow down and figure out what exactly is bothering you. And then we can get to that point. Because you just saying things open-ended, that's not going to do nothing but cause more trauma. And that's all I was saying. Me and Joe got into it on the couch, and we were watching it. And I was like, what this is showing me, and I said this before, is that Brett is not as bad as they trying to make him out to be. The reality is that she has been going through things with him, and she has been speaking to him, and she has had experiences where he's been super sarcastic, especially in front of the camera. So now anything he say to her in front of the camera, she like this, like she already on go, like, you know.
Yeah, which is true. We didn't get into it. Because it's true. I agree with that. I was just saying that my comment was that they've never had one of these conversations that I've witnessed on TV where I didn't notice that Brett was being smart alecky or condescending or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I think two things can be true. She can be hot buttony, like she could be have a battered wife syndrome, so to speak, where like everything is making her flinch.
Yes.
But I also think that this is a running theme for Brett, you know?
But I do think that if you come into a space and you don't give your partner, your spouse, the benefit of the doubt, you will be in a constant state of upset. You will be in a constant state of defense. You will be constantly trying to defend yourself against your partner. And the reality is, he ain't even thinking about you like that, sis. What it showed was that, like, he just be saying stuff. And where you are in your mind and creating a narrative and going through this whole process of how he meant that to hurt your feelings, to do this and do that, and boom, boom, boom. He just like, I just didn't like eggs, and I thought the eggs, you know what I mean? It wasn't, to him, it was just the words. And to you,
and that's what I think.
I think
that's what they discovered in the conversation. Because to me, what I got from that conversation was, you know, she asked him, she sat down and asked him, like, I need you to stop. This is what I need you to work on. Like, I need you to stop doing this because, and then she explained, which I thought was helpful. She explained, like, you might think I'm mean because I get extremely defensive when I'm confronted with your condescendingness, right?
Yes.
So I thought that was instrumental in them finding a common ground, because that made the situation clearer to me. And she told him, like, yo, like, you're doing this all the time. You're doing this a lot, and this is the reaction that I have to it. And I feel like I got to come harder because I feel like I'm going to get crushed every time that we have a conversation because you constantly do that. So I thought they, you know, I thought her doing that in the exchange said a lot. And it just showed me that, like, Brett doesn't, I think Brett does it so much that he don't really know that he's doing it. And
he's just being himself.
I think her saying, I need you to pay attention to this,
right,
is something that is going to help them because he needs to pay attention to it.
Right. And I also think that her understanding that how she says things, which I said last week, affects him. Now, he didn't say that last week, but I knew that the way she said things to him, the moment it gets hot buttony and they get a little bit of tense, and then she says something that's off kilter for him, then he like, I'm going to unload on you. Like, you know what I mean? And I think that that's them both being in a space where they're held accountable for how they treat each other in their relationship. And I think that that's where Pastor Kyle was trying to take them. Like, it makes sense that he acts differently in front of the cameras. He ain't never been in front of cameras. It's hard to, like...
Well, I think the two-faced thing is different, though. Like, I think you don't have to treat... Like, you don't treat me different when we having a conversation in front of a camera here than we do if we have a conversation somewhere else. And I think that is an issue. Like, I would feel a type of way if I feel like every time we get around somebody, you acting different. And, and not in a different way where it's beneficial to us. Like, we argue more because we on camera.
No, I get that. I just think that, like, what I guess my biggest point is that not that Brett needed the benefit of the doubt, but they both needed to provide each other with a little bit of wiggle room. Mm-hmm. So one, they can express themselves freely, because you also don't want to be in a situation where you can't say how you feel.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, despite the fact that Olivia might have a stern tone, she has things she want to get off her chest.
Yeah.
And I think that shouldn't be discounted because he don't want to talk about certain things, or he gonna say something sarcastic or whatever like that. And I just like that Pastor Kyle gave them this moment to just sit down and slow the conversation down, because you get more beads with honey. And I'm the same way. Like, I say I'm a firm speaker when it comes to certain things, and y'all don't like it. Like, you know what I mean? Because in his mind, he like, no, you talking to me any old kind of way. But in my mind, I'm like, I'm just being matter-of-factly. You know what I mean? I said this before, and I think that, but I also think that you do have to curb that. And just, you know, sometimes you got to get a little sweeter, you know, like, to get what you want. So all you hating assholes who were saying that, listen, no, I'm kidding. I love when y'all comment. But, like, that's what I was getting at last week, guys. That's all I was getting at, that we got to give a little bit more room for people. And this is why a lot of y'all single. Okay, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. So we move on, and Karen and Miles are walking around in the park. Uh-huh. And this is my thing about Karen and Miles. This is when they did the 2 truths and a lie. Yeah. And I want, the more I see, first of all, they're a beautiful couple together. Yeah. Can we say that? Like, they are, like, they aesthetically are so pleasing. Yeah. Yet the more I watch them, the more I want to vote them off the island.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's hard to watch Karen constantly. I mean, it seemed like they could take 3 steps forward and Karen come in and say, take them 5 steps back.
Not even Karen go ahead and walk them on a whole nother path.
Yeah.
Fuck this path. We gonna go over here.
Yeah, and it's a constant tug of war where, like, I feel like he's trying to move them into a different space, move them forward, progress the relationship, and then she comes and set off the top rope and says something that just, she's constantly pouring water on the flame. Like, they have these moments where you think, like, oh, they gonna be all right. Yep. And then she comes in and says something like, well, you know, I still don't really know you like that. So, you know, it's always something. I can't remember anything like verbatim right now, but it's always something to just really just be a buzzkill. And it's hard to watch.
But I think that she's turning him into a buzzkill now. So they, I'm going to just fast forward on through because I love this part. They were opening gifts. Mm-hmm. Or, what's his name? Miles gave Karen a gift for their 1-month anniversary. And the gift was so cute. Like, he wrote this little thing, this ditty about how he never really saw black love or anything like that. except for on the TV. And he just wanted to make sure that they would experience that with one another and be inspired by these things, right? Super freaking cute.
Super dope.
Like, super dope. And it's like a 1 month anniversary. And then he gives her this cute little shirt. And it's got like Martin and Gina and, you know, Cliff and Claire and all that stuff like that, right? The Huxtables.
Yeah.
And I thought that not that I don't think that you should have to gauge other people's reaction to things. Like, I'm not one of those people. Like, she shouldn't have been like backflips or whatever like that. But I long for the moment where she's warmer.
I mean, case in point, look at what the exchange that Bennett and Amelia had. He bought her a toaster.
A blender.
A blender, sorry. It might as well have been a toaster.
True.
But he bought her a blender. And that's how you know she's going to be a good mother. Because she was over the moon about this blender. She was talking about the speeds of the blender. the aesthetics of the blender, how it looked from the inside and the outside, the buttons it had on it, the different I mean, she was trying to sell us this blender.
She was,
right?
She was.
And that's the response that you should have. You know what I'm saying? When your spouse give you something, no matter
when your stranger give you, this is a person who didn't know you a month ago.
Right.
So they want to grow something with you, and by doing that, they want to provide you with a little token of affection.
Right.
And that's what I think you're getting at. Like, y'all should be more excited.
But when you see somebody put that effort into something, you know what I'm saying? Even if you don't absolutely love it, when you see somebody go down and say, "This, I'm connecting this to me so it can be a transparent moment between the two of us, so that it can maybe bring us closer together. So I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna write my thoughts down that is deeply and truly me. I'm gonna show you the shirt. I'm gonna explain the names on it. All of this is effort. This is thought out effort. This is physical effort. And for you to just kind of, she should have had the same response that Amelia had. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And for the fact that you didn't have that is like, you got a long way to go in this.
But what, you're right. You're absolutely right. And what I didn't like about it is that I think Miles knew he didn't get the response that he wanted.
Yeah.
Because then he started talking about, well, we don't even know if we're going to be here another month.
Yeah.
And that's like, you don't talk about your relationship like that. Like, whatever we decide, like, you have to be.
But that's when you have been drugged down into that space. That's the space that he's in there.
Now he living in it.
Because he's constantly reminded that that's where he should be.
Yes.
Because if I can guarantee you, if Miles was with Amani or Amani 2.0, you wouldn't hear him say stuff like that. He wouldn't give and say, well, you know, because the end is near. Like, he wouldn't do that.
Exactly.
But every time he does, he's now conditioned to think, you know what, this isn't really that great. I don't really know her. We could be not together in a couple weeks, so let me just, you know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
It's constant.
Also, let's normalize celebrating small milestones.
Yeah.
He was all talking about, like, oh, well, I mean, in a real world, we probably wouldn't even celebrate a month. Yes, the hell y'all would.
But he was trying to cater to her, too.
That's what I'm getting at. That's exactly what I'm getting at, babe. Like, that kind of low-frequency energy, that's not good. Let me tell you something. When you talk about, what did the old people tell us? You want to say, we asked them, how y'all been together so long? And that old lady said, just don't leave. But to her, it's like, if you just put that option out your mind, you'll be fine. Mm-hmm. Don't even make no excuses about it. We don't talk about leaving. Ain't nobody going nowhere. You could be mad, roll around on the floor. Do whatever you got to do. Okay? Mm-hmm. Stop your feet, clap your hands. But you're going to stay right here. And it's like, and I think that if you create an environment where that is normal, where you not leaving is normal, then that's not something that you're going to be thinking about, right?
Yeah.
And I think that them creating excuses or avenues by which that could be an option, that's annoying as hell to me. Because y'all should be, at this point, you're 1 month in, you're with somebody every day. You're with somebody every day and you're a month in. It's real. It's real that, one, you could be falling in love with a person in that amount of time, being in that close proximity with them every day. That's real life. You know what I mean? And I think that he's trying to curtail how he feels. Yeah. And I think it's whack.
To make it comfortable for her.
To make it comfortable for her. Or for him to when you like her, you have feelings, but you gotta like stoke them for somebody else. He's trying to manage his expectations. Yeah. he's managing his own expectations because he already know what it is. And
Yeah.
I think that, to Giovanni, that's the guy who called him a simp a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
To your point, he got to come out a little harder. And he got to have a little bit more, not demands for Karen. He either got to do one or two things. And Miss Pat, I believe you said this. You either got to ignore Karen and treat that like dust. Like, treat it like dust. Walk right by, hey, girl, how you doing? Hey, good day. Or you going to have to get real with her and say, like, listen, I need you to show up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think
he
that...
won't do that.
He ain't gonna do that. He ain't got time. But talking about the black folks, we can move right on in to brunch.
Mm-hmm.
They have brunch with Woody and Amani. And that has got to be weird when you at brunch with or dinner with somebody and they doing so much better than you and they met at the same time as you. And
you're in the exact same.
Y'all in the exact same.
The circumstances are exactly the same.
You're losing the race.
And they are worlds ahead of you.
It is like really fascinating to watch how these like relationships are unfolding, but then they are also like interacting with one another.
Yeah.
And seeing how like these people are really like not checking for each other.
No.
But even how Miles was, like, he just has so much animation around Woody.
Yeah, because that's the energy that he's getting in. You know what I'm saying? He's not in a space where he got to tiptoe around and, you know, he's himself when he's around other people and Woody, and I could see that.
Did you feel like she was annoyed?
I feel like she's always annoyed.
Oh, okay. So
I feel like if he hug her, she look like she annoyed. If he, you know, if they too close, if he make a joke, that's, you know, it's like I feel like he feels like he's always walking on eggshells.
Yeah. And I just feel like at this stage of the game for grown people, I think not to mirror the two, but you know, since we got time, Woody, the difference between Amani and Karen is that Amani is super intentional, and I think that Karen will say, "Oh, I don't," and she's grown, and you could like a grown woman, because Karen does real childish things like say, "Oh, like I know I'm hard to read." When you're a grown woman, you an open book. You're like, "Listen, this is what I need. I need you to provide me with boom, boom, boom. And I can do whatever for you, right?" And for you to be in a space where when you with somebody and they can't tell if you love, like, have feelings, happy around them, sad around them, that's weird.
It's not okay. Like if he's saying like I want to know you more. I want to know how you feel more. I want to be able to navigate this as a collective. It's not okay for you to just be like, "Yeah, I know I'm hurt." Like no, like he's saying like let's talk about things, let's, you know, but she just is
I'm hard to read. You're an adult. You are an adult. You know when you hard to read? When you cheating. You know when you hard to read? When you don't like the person.
Yeah.
That's the only time, like think about the spaces in your life, okay, but still tell us about it, when you were hard to read. Because the reality is when you with somebody and you like them, it's free flowing everything.
Yeah.
You're complete.
Yeah, like what's the guessing game?
Is it about?
Why is there a guessing
You
game?
wouldn't have one. You just wouldn't. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm just tired. I'm just truly tired. And I think that's all it is. But I did enjoy seeing them all hanging out together. They look so good together. And I just, if it's only for that reason, figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out. But I wanted to talk about also Christina has sat down with her friend.
Mm-hmm.
The young man that was in the episode previously, and I think that they had like a really honest conversation about her comparing Henry to previous relationships, and her physical experience with people in previous relationships, because she started off this episode being a bi to Henry and everything, as she does.
Didn't take her meds. It's like the
clear.
time that she did take her meds, and this is not even a joke, like it was a different Christina. She was a different person. The way she even talked to the camera and the confessional was different. The way she was talking to Henry was different. The way she listened and responded to him, it was completely different. And you can just, it's night and day.
And I think that it is night and day. And I think that what was really cool was that she listened to her friend, or she heard what he was saying when he said, like, listen, this guy's a nice guy. Like, by, you know, all intents and purposes, he's a nice person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he might not be, you know what I mean? He might not throw you up against the wall and bust you down or nothing like that, but he's going to be good to you.
Yeah.
He's going to make sure that you're taken care of. And it's like, what do you value more at this stage in your life? You know what I mean? Like, yes, we all want this passionate love, but that fizzles out. You know what I mean? Like, so you want to make sure that you have something that's sustained, like fully sustained. And you also got to look yourself in the mirror, because you might think you cute, but like, sis, you like, all right. And then your attitude is like piss poor. You know what I mean? But what I like, though, when they saw the video of them getting married, they played the video of them getting married, like gave everybody an update. And Henry kissed her a lot throughout the night, which means that he's attracted to her. It just simply means that you as a person, I do not like.
Yeah, like he was turned off once he got to know who exactly you were.
Right. And you really need to be doing some soul searching about that.
Yeah.
Like, why is it different now and it wasn't then? And it's just that
he didn't know you.
Exactly. And you're mad. You got to up the dosage or something. Because something ain't working.
Just take it.
I'm
sure she's just not taking it.
It's just something ain't working. And it's really, I'm tired. I'm really, really, really tired. But what's their names, babe? My fairies. Amelia and
Ben
Bennett.
and Amelia?
Yes. A and B. They literally go hiking. And it was super cute. And Bennett told Amelia that he loved her.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know how everything is going to happen past this quarantine, but
apparently it's about to get real in the quarantine.
We don't know what's going to happen, but I do think that this got to count for something.
What?
Like them loving each other. Like he got to put this on his wall of things to look at when he decides what he's going to do with his wife.
It got to count when it's time to make a decision on whether or not he's going to leave the city and go with her somewhere.
Because Amelia has a beautiful spirit.
Yeah.
And she also gives me an amorous spirit, if you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't necessarily give me the vibe, not of somebody who will be unfaithful, but somebody who expects to be served, you know, for lack of a better word, in a certain manner. And if she's not served in that manner, she might do what she need to do. She really do. And she's a doctor. So, we all seen Grey's Anatomy. That's all I'm saying.
Amelia gives me the vibe that, like, she's not really... It's weird. She's not really serious or should I say practical. And it's weird because she is a doctor. But, like... You know, it seems like, you know, she shies away from, you know, the realness of their relationship. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I'm curious to see how that's going to play out in these next couple episodes where they quarantine or where it apparently looks like they got to make a decision on somebody moving or somebody doing X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? Like, she seemed like she shies away from the tough conversations.
I feel like, so, I'm having a hard time with names today. Bennett's sister, earlier in the episode, y'all, with this duck, brings a stuffed animal to lunch.
Yeah.
And then was talking to the stuffed animal. And New Orleans is a fascinating place, y'all.
Yeah, she was doing too much.
It's fascinating. And even, like, I'm all for a good card reading. Anybody who know me know I love to get my cards read, whatever the case may be. But, y'all, she was just saying everything we already knew.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like, since you're not reading that, he probably told you that, like, 3 days ago. Like, cut it out.
She seemed like she was pouring it on thick for the cameras to me.
Do you think?
Yeah, because her mom and, like, all the other weird friends that he has, like, they seemed like they were just being themselves. Like,
yeah, his mom. But you could tell where she gets it from. Because the mom is like,
but the mom is, the mom seems so natural. Like,
yes,
she's not, she didn't seem for 1 second like she was putting on.
At all. But I like Bennett. And did y'all see how cute Bennett looked in his confessional? But it's like, I don't know, he looked a little manicured or something, but he looked different.
He just had his
looked
glasses
clean.
off.
He looked clean. Oh, he had his glasses on. But why I say he looked clean? Sometimes Bennett be looking like he like a every other day shower.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Is.
Like he probably is. But I just really enjoy watching everybody go through their vows and experience their wedding all over again for the 1 month, like, you know, anniversary. I thought that was really dope. And but I like that they gave them actual pictures of their vows. That's something that we're gonna like take.
Yeah, that's dope.
I love that. Like, I love that. And I think that you have to like revisit those moments, man, because sometimes it's like marriage is hard and relationships are hard. So you do gotta like look back on the good times and be like, all right, that's what Olivia and Brett did. They looked at like Olivia and Brett.
You gotta. That's why, you know, our counselor was telling us, you know, to have what we call safe space, because part of the reason was, you know, you need to refuel each other. Like, you would never just buy a car and never take it to the gas station. Like, every now and then you need to pour into each other, remind each other why you're there and why you love each other and why you're attracted to each other and whatever it is. And to me, the vows thing is a form of safe space. Like, oh, it's a form of let's refresh, let's refuel this relationship, you know, and that's cool to me.
I thought it was cool too. My vows are gonna be much better than Joe's.
Y'all,
we put money on it. We are putting money on it. Okay, it's not up for debate. Everybody gonna cry, roll around on the floor when I'm done speaking, and I'm not like an emotion.
It's almost not fair for me to take this type of bet. Like,
no, I'm not like Joe is very good with words. He picks good cards. He always writes sweet things. I'm not the best with expressing myself. I'm a Karen, and but I'm gonna kill these vows. So if you out there, you a songwriter or something like that.
No, you can't have nobody help you. It can't be nothing like that. No.
Help us, sister. I got a few ideas I'm throwing around.
There can't be no help, no assistance.
Because I'm gonna win.
No nothing.
I'm gonna win. I'm gonna bust out in song.
Well, I mean,
then I'm gonna lose.
Yeah, that ain't gonna be it.
Well, whatever. We want to normalize. I really do want to like leave with this. I really thought it was cute that Amani and Woody exchanged gifts, and Woody gave Amani the really beautiful pair of earrings that obviously was a commercial for Diamonds Direct in New Orleans.
Oh yeah, they paid for that.
Yes. Yeah. Because for some reason I remember the name now, and I just really thought it was sweet that, first of all, I like good gifts. I don't like big gifts. Like, you ain't got to give me nothing big because I buy myself whatever I want anyway. I'm a frivolous shopper. But I like good gifts. And I think that the coupon thing was a good gift.
Yeah,
like,
it was
super cute. It was super cute. And I just love, I'm really trying to, not that I'm having a hard time trying to figure out why Amani was single. But I'm trying to figure out.
Sometimes the cards just fall like that. That's what I said about, you know, like some people you meet and you like, oh, I know why you still.
Yes.
But sometimes the cookie just crumbles like that, and that's why I said a couple weeks ago, like, you know, I think, you know, you can, if your story is different, you can take advantage you of the fact that, like, oh, you found love or you found the person that you with, you know what I'm saying, at the age that you found them, you know what I mean, like, because that's not everybody's story, and it's the cards that you dealt. Some people are born with $1 million in the bank, and some people got to scrap every day for the what they get. So it's just different. Like, it's not a one size fits all situation. It's so I think in Amani's case, she probably was just she just was in a space where that's just kind of how it came for her. And in Woody's case, I feel like Woody just was living a life until he met the one, and he was like, oh, all right, you know what I mean?
We'll see. But I want to mention one more thing that really blew me this episode. When Christina said she had a lot of people. She had a lot of people who wanted to marry her.
Oh, yeah, she did say that.
Y'all got to stop saying stuff like that. Because if you
signed up for a show called Married at First Sight to marry a complete and utter stranger, but you had all these options.
Why
don't
you
do
lying?
that. Don't even do that. We don't even gotta go there.
Why would you wake up to tell lies
we don't even gotta go there. It's not necessary.
Why would you lie? That really blew my mind. I really had to bring that joint up because I was like, Girl, are you serious?
It's not necessary. You on the show. You're on a show called Married at First Sight.
And you gonna lie like a dead dog like that?
It's not necessary.
I just really didn't get it. And I'm really like, sis.
No.
Stop it. Stop it. First of all, Christina, this is not even just a Christina thing. This is y'all out in the world. I've heard plenty of people say stuff like this, and I be thinking, do I believe that you could pick whoever you want to get married?
Yeah, yes. you can, but it listen, that's what I was talking about, right? Like, you know, for anybody can get married to anybody.
Right.
But being in a meaningful, loving relationship that you are all in, because Woody and Amani are married, Miles and Karen are also married, right? It's not the same thing. You know what I mean?
And they at the bottom of the list for me today.
It's
and
not,
they at the bottom. Karen and Miles, they hold on by 3. We need a Survivor joint.
It's not the same thing though. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I mean. Like, you can't take for granted. Like, you know, you could have married somebody else. You know, but both of us could have married somebody else. But it wouldn't have been the same situation as what we in now for what we have for each other. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what I mean by that. Like, yeah, you can do it. Like, you can say like, oh, somebody want to marry me, but it's not the same. Like,
what I'm saying is it don't add no value. Like, don't nobody, like, if you ain't a wife, not that being a wife adds value, but were you engaged or not? No. Were you a fiance or not? No. It didn't add any value. You
didn't get married because you knew that the marriage that you talking about wasn't about to be shit anyway.
How about that?
That's weird. That's really what we're talking about.
That's what I'm talking.
Because if you had all these options, why didn't you just take them? Take one. That's what I mean. Like, so you can say, anybody can say, yeah, I could have married somebody else.
Anybody could say that. You know, y'all gotta stop doing that. Yeah. Y'all gotta stop doing that. Because if you get the right girlfriend around you, like me, I'm gonna ask 100,000 questions. So when did he stop cheating? Because that's the real reason why you didn't marry us. It wasn't the fact that, like, girl, stop.
Yeah,
you don't gotta lie to us. Like, we get it, sis. You may be desirable. You're a woman.
Then say that, but don't. Well, I get married. Like, you know,
if
you had a realistic, legitimate situation, you would have took it. Like, that's what
you got married at first sight.
Because anybody could have married anybody.
Cut it out. But that's all I got to say. I mean, I thought this episode was really good. It felt a little filler-esque, but I'm super excited to get into this quarantine, y'all. We finally are here, and I'm super ready for it.
Yeah, it's about to get real.
It's about to go down. Thank you guys for joining us. Bust down in the comments. Tell me what y'all been thinking. And we'll see you beautiful mugs later.